Hey there, I'm JoAnn. This is JoAnn Sews, and this is Friday Sews for Friday, May 3rd, 2024. I think this is episode 15 or 16, I think. Doesn't make much difference, it's Friday Sews. Today I will share with you two things I made, talk about my pattern purge, and also my wardrobe purge, which led to my vow for memademay this year. First thing today, I would like to extend a special welcome to all of the new subscribers. There are quite a few new subscribers over the past several weeks, and I want you and those who subscribed before to just know how very appreciative I am that you choose to spend time with me, and I will try to make it worth your while. Today, I'm wearing a top I made probably 4 years ago. I know that I bought this fabric probably 6 years ago. And this is New Look 6638. It's a knit top, and it's got gathers at the front and back at the en-pied waist. And since I'm trying to sew things that give me a hint of a waist, this is a pattern that remains in my use again pile. I'm just going to stand up and give you the headless version of this top. So it has seaming and gathers here and in the back, and it has a tie that goes around the front, and I actually added a little loop here so the ties don't droop. There can be a lot of drooping on the front of tops, but we don't want the tie to droop. Last weekend, I decided I was going to work on bags, so I pulled out, got everything all organized, and I cut out everything for the Louis bag and read the instructions and realized that there were a couple little things that I needed that I didn't have. So I set that aside until early in the week. But I still wanted to sew something. And also last weekend, when I went digging through boxes looking for the Poppins bag pattern that I talked about last week, I found a couple of other bag patterns then that I had wanted to make. So I was at loose ends, didn't want to start sewing a top or a pair of pants, couldn't work on the other bags, didn't feel like sewing the cork bag that I bought the kit for last week for whatever reason. But I wanted to make this. And since we're sewing what we want these days, there's nothing I have to have. We're sewing what looks like fun. I thought this would be fun. This is a wallet, and it's called the Wonder Wallet. I don't know when I bought this pattern, quite a few years ago, never been touched, didn't look at it very closely. It's a fat quarter cutie Lazy Girl Designs Wonder Wallet, and it makes a little wallet that's a little bit bigger than credit card size, so you can just put a few things in it. Well, I have some fat quarters around, not many. I have like 5. The other thing that I needed was a little bit of interfacing and a piece of Velcro. Had all those things. So I picked out one of my fat quarters and started sewing on this little wallet, and about an hour and 20 minutes later it was gone. So it was a super fast, very rewarding make. And here's the little wallet. You can see it has this flap here. There's a button, and that just covers the Velcro. So there's a back pocket. There's a middle pocket that has an opening, so if you need to slip coins or something in there, and then 2 pockets for credit cards. I've just got money in the back here, and it's interfaced, but it's still a pretty soft fabric wallet. While I was sewing it, I thought, you know, this thing really needs RFID protective fabric in it. One of my friends travels quite a bit, and twice last year she had her credit cards compromised by somebody who had an RFID scanner. So After I finished sewing this, I went out and ordered some RFID fabric, which I have received, and I'll show it to you. So it's not in this one, but I would put it in the next one. This little thing, it's a fat quarter cutie, and actually you can make 2 of them. So there's a second one cut out here. You can make 2 out of a fat quarter. And I'm gonna make another one of these, and I'm gonna put RFID fabric in it so that there is shielding in the next one. This was so fast and easy that I think it would be an excellent wrapping if you're giving somebody a gift card, because you could just slip the gift card in here. You could pick out a little tiny piece of fabric that would be appropriate for the person who's receiving the gift, or you could even do a little bit of embroidery or put an applique or something on the back. So that was project 1. Very, very, very fast. Super fun. Well, the other pattern that I found at the same time was this one, the Zip It Up purse. If you're older like me, you might remember Vera Bradley bags. Loved them. I had several Vera Bradley bags. I used to like going to the outlet stores where they had all kinds of them, and I bought this pattern 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, and I used it once and I made my mom a bag, and it turned out really well. And I remember saying to myself, you have to make one of these for yourself, and I never did, and I forgot about it. Well, I just thought it was so cute, and we've got a little trip coming up, and I figured it would be a fun bag to have, the kind of thing that you could carry with you while you're wandering around. So I didn't have the right fabric for it. So on Monday, when I went to get all of my doodads for the Louis bag, I also looked at some fabric remnants and found fabric to make this bag, the Zip It Up purse. The other thing that this purse needs is 5 polyester zippers of at least 12 inches long, 12 to 14 inches long. I've got plenty of zippers, and I didn't have to buy any zippers. Even after I brought home the fabric, and as it turned out, I had plenty of zippers that would match the fabric that I picked up. So this is a little bit more of a complicated make than the little wallet, because you're putting 5 zippers in it. But here's the purse, here's the front of it. And you can see this is my contrast fabric, and this is my main fabric, this geometric print. The front, and this is the back. And on the front, there are 2 pockets. There's this one here, and this one at the top. Then on the back, there are 3 pockets. This top one is actually the size of the purse. Then there's a second one. This second one is about, I don't know, 3.5 inches deep. Oh, a little deeper than that. And then the bottom one is 5 inches deep. And this is the side that goes against your body. The RFID fabric arrived while I was working on this, so I lined this pocket, this side, and on the lining side with RFID fabric. So this particular pocket is protected. I could put my wallet, I could put my credit cards, my passport, whatever, in that pocket. So I used different color zippers, just what I had around that kind of worked with the fabric, and quilted these 2 pieces because they have a little bit of batting in it. And then it's got a very simple strap. And this was really fun to make, and I've wanted to make it for a long time. I would use the pattern again, and what I would do a little bit differently is I would make it a little more narrow, and I would use a fatter strap, and I would probably buy webbing for it because that's a little more stylish right now. So this was the second project that I made. I had to use a denim needle and my walking foot when I was sewing this, because at some points there are 6 layers of fabric, 2 layers of batting, and 2 layers of RFID fabric. So that's that. It's my fun little purse. I'm going to show you the RFID fabric. This is the RFID fabric. It's it feels very much like kind of a silk organza, and it's stitched fine. Of course, you can't unpick it. I don't think that unpicking it impacts its effectiveness. But I got this sheet at Emmeline Bags. I got the last one. I'm sure they'll get more in, but you can probably find it anywhere. But it's just nice to line anything, given that there are so many scummy people out there who can't be bothered to get a real job and instead like to scam people and steal from them. So that's what I sewed. Both fun, quick, non-frustrating makes. Last week I showed you all of the patterns that I bought, and because I'm trying to stay organized, I spent a fair bit of time on the weekend getting rid of patterns that I own so I could make space for the new patterns. I think I've shown you these before in the past. I know they're on my sewing room tour, but I still use these boxes for my patterns, and I got them at the Container Store. Does the Container Store still exist? I bought these in 2019. Anyway, they're perfect for patterns. So I went through my boxes, I reorganized everything, and I pulled out probably 40 or 45 patterns. There were patterns I thought about keeping, but then I got honest with myself and said that they were either they were duplicates, very close, very similar styles, but a lot of the patterns were aspirational. And it's one thing to have patterns for a dress in case you're invited to a ball, or maybe a beautiful jacket for if you are you're making a presentation somewhere. But I had a lot of work clothes, very much lined work clothes that I would never wear if I'm not going to an office. And I don't think people would even wear those things to an office anymore. So I got rid of all of that stuff, and I wound up removing about 45 patterns, and I dropped them at the e.17 sale collection point. Calgary this weekend, e.17 has this massive sewing and fiber arts sale, and they sell Big 4 patterns, 10 for $1, and Vogue patterns are $2. We have our sewing meetup on Saturday, and I'll probably go over to the sale afterwards. Not that I need anything, but patterns for that price are hard to pass up. And I could maybe take a look at the fabrics. The fabric is $2 a meter. So I cleared all of those out, and I've done a lot of tidying in the sewing room, and I sorted my patterns that I would like to work on next. I've got all of that stuff organized. Last week, I asked if anybody had experience with Stash Hub, and several people commented that they did. Thank you very much. And I'm still going through last week's comments. I'm always slow to this. But a couple of people mentioned that they work with Trello. And Trello is a free app that you can put on devices, or you can just use the web-based version. In the back of my mind, I remembered working with Trello and with Monday, looking into them and playing around with them probably in 2019, 2020, maybe 2021. I was looking at them for work purposes. And what I've decided to do for now is I'm playing around with Trello. I haven't actually put many patterns in it yet, but I'm using it to kind of organize my life because I need a place to have one, rather than having 15 notebooks and a calendar and files. I want to try and get myself in a better place so I don't miss things, and so I'm not constantly going back and checking lists. So I'm trying Trello for now, and I will let you know how it goes, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't go to Stash Hub at some point in the future. So I'm just giving this one a try first because it's free. So thank you to everyone who gave input on those. Much appreciated. As I said at the top, I also did a wardrobe clean out. Every year, I seem to pack everything away at the end of a season and say, I'll decide next season if I want to keep it or not. So clothes that maybe I didn't wear at all last summer, they were all shoved to the summer side of the closet or in the summer bins. And then when I pulled out the summer stuff, I would just put them in the closet, and a lot of things were never worn. So this year, I instead went through everything, my winter clothes and my summer clothes and my work clothes. And I have 4 big bags of clothes that are destined for the thrift store, the donation box. My husband said to me, have you gotten rid of any of your me-mades? Well, of course I have. I sew a lot of clothes. Of course I've gotten rid of things. There are a lot of things that I didn't wear, or I didn't make them very well, or they were terribly fitting, or they don't suit my life now. Well, Me Made May, if you're not aware of Me Made May, it's a month when you focus on wearing me-mades. The idea is not to go out there and sew a bunch of things, but it's to take a look at what you wear and what you make. And I've participated to a certain extent for a few years. I can't be bothered to post every day. Some people are really good at that. I am not, because I don't put on makeup every day or make my hair nice every day. If you want to know more about Me Made May, I'm going to put some links down below. For Me Made May, you're supposed to make a vow for the month. Last year I vowed that I was just going to wear what I liked, and I wasn't going to take pictures, and I wasn't going to put any pressure on myself. But this year, I looked at those bags of clothes that are going to disappear and decided that this month I'm going to look back through the bags of clothes before I get rid of them, and I'm going to pull out at least 3 garments that I had made and see if I can make them work, rather than sending them to the thrift store. I know that in many cases, I think it's Goodwill, they don't even put me-made stuff out. If it doesn't have a tag on it, it goes right into the rag pile. And that's super annoying to me at many levels, because those garments still have value, and you could hang them on a rack and let people decide if they're going to fit them. It's not like you can trust the sizing on ready to wear and know that if you pick up a size 12 or 14 that it's going to fit you, or an XL, because an XL might be a size 8 because it's an XL designed for young women. So it annoys me. And I also think that I put a lot of time and energy and thought and creativity and money for resources into those garments, and at least some of them deserve a second chance. So for Me Made May, my vow is that I'm going to go and find at least 3 garments in there that I had made and see if I can make them work. So that's my Me Made May project, and I'll let you know how I'm doing throughout the month. One thing I wanted to ask you was, this is not involving ready to wear, and I don't have what I want to talk about right here, so I'm just going to talk about it. There are some things that I threw in the bag where they're ready to wear, and they fit me everywhere except the shoulders are super big, because everybody knows that when you're grading clothes, you just make the shoulders big if the bust is bigger. But I would like to know if anybody has ever tried just lifting the shoulder up on a ready-to-wear top to make the shoulder smaller, or even just doing maybe a dart there. But I've got 2 or 3 tops that I like, but they just don't look right because the shoulders are so big. So if you know how to correct that, will you please share it? Because it would be very helpful, and I could probably rescue some ready-to-wear things from those same bags. That's all that's been going on in the sewing realm of things. We have a meetup this Saturday for the Calgary Sews group, and this month One of our members, who is a sewing professional, is going to talk to us about colors and color trends. I think she's going to talk a little bit about color analysis. She does the color analysis thing. So I'm excited about that because I'd like to know if I'm on the right track. Otherwise, my husband's still working on his big DIY project, and that's coming along really well. I did a lot of yard work. I'm not going to say what happened this week in the weather because it's sad if it's spring. Spring will come eventually. And spring cleaning still. Getting rid of a lot of stuff and trying to have a clean slate and a clean house for the summer. That's what I have for you today. I hope you've had a great week. I'd love to know what you're working on. And have a great weekend. I will see you really soon. Take care. And thank you so much for watching my video.